and it's east of Kingfisher, the core, and it's coming right on down to Cashin, and it'll be northeastern Canadian County. It may actually hit parts of the Piedmont area, and you see this backside. If you look up near Kingfisher, in fact, I'm just going to go out here and I'll call for some of these. We'll take a look at that storm coming up in just a minute, but let's take a look at this one right here. You can see how it's kind of hooking around. There is a little bit of a rotation with it, but once again, this is primary. This thing's main job is to produce hail, and it's doing quite a job of it. And so it's east of Kingfisher on the core, but it's going. This is County Line Road right here. There's Mercy Hospital. It's going to come into northeastern Kingfisher County, which is this area in here. Here's Piedmont right here, and it's going to come into Oklahoma County and parts of Logan County. It's been very persistent. It's long-lived. It's in the most favorable position to get good inflow into it, and it is moving up into this storm, continuing to sometimes increase, sometimes decrease, but coming right on down. So, you know, if you have friends or family that don't pay a lot of attention, they also park their cars outside, you might want to have them move them to a safe place. Probably be a real good idea. That's all the way from Kingfisher into northeastern Canadian County, over into Oklahoma County, into Logan County. So this is quite the storm, and I'd like to take another shot of let's go to Storm Action 8. Storm Action 8. And that's pretty good looking wall cloud with it. And Bobby, what do you have?
Gary, what you're seeing is the wall cloud. It's now going to be southeast of the Kingfisher area. I'm not seeing really strong rotation. It's really weak. I'm looking now out to the northeast. I don't really see anything significant right now. It's just a real large wall cloud, weak to sometimes moderate rotation. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to reposition myself now to the east, southeast of Kingfisher on some county roads, and the storm definitely has inflow, probably to the east of the storm, Gary. So it has been cycling up and down all the way from the northwest, Laurel. So it has produced the real small funnel clouds earlier, but right now it's just a real big wall cloud producing really big hail. And just really weak.
We'll take a look at Storm Action 7. And that's Rob and Tom, and they're looking to the southwest, this animal coming up this way. So, Rob or Tom? I don't know which one's on the phone there, but that's a great shot of this storm coming up the turnpike as it stands now. So that's the storm coming from the southwest toward Oklahoma County. And then on Tarracam, we have the storm coming from the northwest. And you can see it. And it's getting in very close. It's getting into parts of Logan County just to our north, northwestern Oklahoma County. It's right along County Line Road in Council and 234th. And do I hear James?
I heard Jack. Just a second.
Go ahead, James. On XL, we have this storm to our northwest. Okay, let's go back and we'll check once again Storm Action 7. Go to Rob Sackett. Rob?
Hey, Gary, we're in Newcastle right now on Highway 37, just west of the Highway 62-44 interchange. The storm is just west of here now. We can see the core. It's pretty intense core. With it, we've got what looks like a rain foot on the leading edge of it, which indicates some strong winds now probably with this storm. It's moving at a pretty fast rate. It's a left mover, so they tend to move faster than most of the other storms will. That's what this storm has been doing all day, is left split after left split after left split. So it's just west of Newcastle right now.
Okay, you getting any reports down there on hail for that storm?
I've not heard any yet. I've heard a couple reports of golf balls, but it's been a while. I've not heard any more reports.
Okay, that's down close to Newcastle. That's Tom and Rob, our storm trackers there, watching this storm come up I-35. You can see on ESP1, you can see that storm coming up in the southwest, and you can see the one coming from the north. And we're going to have somewhat of a collision in here. So it's time-wise, you know, if it's moving now, it's moving 35. You can do your own measuring here. Right across Oklahoma County, that's 30 miles. So you just figure that 30 miles, you know, it's well into Oklahoma County at that particular time. And once again, the one northwest of Hennessy, the one near Hennessy, and the one east of Kingfisher, all of these look like they have baseball-sized hail. At least that's what we're seeing. So in this one, we're getting a few reports out of it. It has to be golf ball size. And we may see these get up here and the entire area starts rotating into a big convective system, we call it. So a long duration hail. Once again, if you know people, Twitter them, call them, text them, whatever, just tell them you move the car to a safer place, because this storm will take out the windshields, and unfortunately, it looks like to me it may take out a lot of roofs too. We're not getting any extreme wind reports, but it probably has some significant wind with it. We're just not getting those reports. It's taking a little more of a drop down to the southeast at that particular time. Okay. Boy, that is a hoss. It's along Highway 33. It's just about to Waterloo. It's past Waterloo in Oklahoma County, and it's going to come on to the southeast. So just expect big hail. You don't want to be outside when this happens, but big hail around. And I'm going to take the core of this thing, not the main core, but a good part of the core. Okay. I'm going to move it at 20. Okay. Piedmont, very close. We're on top of you at 817. The Village at 843. Nichols Hills at 844. Edmond at 907. Forest Park 941. Spencer at 949. And Jones at 10 p.m. That's at an hour. This thing, that's an hour movement that you see on the screen there. So 817 for the Piedmont area, which is very close to you at that particular time. And this thing's going to come into northwestern Oklahoma County. And as you look at that one, I'm just going to read off some other values for you. You might put that into a loop, Lacey. And so it's, I'll look at Canadian County. And, Highway 81's north-south through central Canadian County runs down to El Reno. If you live along and east of that, take your hail precautions, however you'd like to call it. Guys, let's take a look at Storm Action 3, which is James' shot. He's up with that storm. And there's Storm Action 3. And
Gary, that's Hank's shot.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hank. Go ahead, Hank.
Gary, I'm down at 134th and I-44. What you're looking at is the north edge of this core that's coming up from the southwest. That looks pretty ominous, looks like a rotating lowering. Really what that is an outflow feature. That is not inflow. That's not a wall cloud. That's just what's moving in. This whole north side of this storm's got a lot of low-hanging scud that looks to be predominantly outflow features. So these kind of look scary at the time, Gary.
Okay. Appreciate that report, Hank and Patty. Storm Action 1. And Val Castor's shot there. And Val can jump in anytime he wants to if he has time.
Yeah, Gary, I'm 6 miles east of Okarche right now, and we're looking at what's left of the wall cloud. Earlier we had a couple of small funnels, probably about 45 minutes ago when the wall cloud was rotating strongly, but now there's not much organization to it. It's still the updraft here. It's still got a very, very strong updraft, but right now it just looks to be a very efficient hail producer. We're getting, if you could call it inflow from the west. Looks like to me it's feeding right up into the bottom of that cloud, and we're on the west side of it. And I'm sure that there's probably inflow from the south coming in on the other side. So right now I don't see anything, at the moment to make this thing weaken. Once again, the wall cloud is not as organized as it was earlier, but it looks like to me there's probably some gigantic hail with it.
Val, we got Alan Brosey on there with some giant hail. I think Alan's up in that same general area. Looked like some baseball-sized hail with it. Let's check in Storm Action 7. Tom and Rob, if you're on the Gettner, talk to me. They're looking to the southwest storm.
Hey, Gary, we're still in Newcastle with the core just to our west. I've gotten more concerned with the wind potential with this thing because the leading edge of the core has really surged out to the north. Haven't heard any reports, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Tuttle, Minko, and Mustang areas get some really strong winds with this one, in addition to the hail.
Okay. Rob, appreciate that report. Your hail core down that way doesn't look quite as strong as this thing coming out of Canadian or Kingfisher County, but it's impressive. The one on the storm to the west is we can look at ESP1, and the hail core is growing now in the storm from Newcastle. You see where a lot of roofs, a lot of windshields, and do a lot of damage the way it looks right now unless it suddenly weakens. But the hail core getting a little bit larger as we speak right now. The leading edge in Oklahoma County. And by the way, these numbers right in here, 234th, it's past there. A little heavier precipitation now approaching Waterloo and County line. Waterloo and North Council, Waterloo and Rockwell, Morgan Road and Rockwell, Frisco out in Canadian County, and Waterloo, and on over to the East Cimarron. Okay, let's check with Alan. Alan, go ahead.
Okay, Gary, I just drove through Kingfisher and verified what James had said earlier. I stopped and picked up several baseball-sized pieces of hail. Still very fresh. Looks like most of it was at least golf ball to baseball. I didn't see anything bigger than baseball, but they're going to have some problems here with some of the wheat crop and maybe a few wind shifts because the hail was pretty large and lasted for quite a while through here. I've just cleared the south of the town right now, and I'm pointing back towards the south and east. I can see that large hail swath as it's hitting the ground towards the Piedmont area. It's going to be incredible, Gary. We can see the hail from here. I've lost any indications of rotation back from that Hennessy storm as it proceeded south. It seemed like it just gushed out. It's producing lots and lots of hail, but there's no significant rotation that I can see.
Okay, storm. Let's take a look.
We're dropping south and back in towards town and try to pick up some of this hail damage, Gary.
Okay, appreciate it, Alan. These storms, as you look at them, guys, all of you around the state, their main job of these storms is to produce hail, and that's exactly what they're doing. On Tarracam, you see a little bit of growth out in front of it. The main storm is off the right there. Part of that is showing some wind and also some hail and some rain making it in the metro. But on the ESP2, you can look at that hail core. And I'll tell you, the leading edge is coming on into Oklahoma County. The core is continuing to be quite strong. Who's talking to me?
South of Kingfisher.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, this is Alan. I've got a funnel south of Kingfisher. If you can see my shot. It's sustained itself for about 30 to 45 seconds, and it's still coming down.
Yeah, I see it. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay, yeah, this is south of Kingfisher. Looks like probably 4 to 5 miles in the clear area just behind the hail. There is upward motion and some rotation with this. The clear funnel's not very big right now, but it's indicating that that may be another point that's going to feeding all this hail, Gary.
Okay, you're looking to the south.
Right south. I'm 2 miles south of Kingfisher, looking south on the highway.
Okay, appreciate that very much. Not much to this funnel at this particular time, but that storm has continually showed some rotation with it. But once again, these things are producing huge hail. That's the main deal with them, at least at this particular moment. One is passed south of Ames on ESP1, south of Ames, and that's along Highway 51 west of Hennessy, and probably affecting parts of the O'Keene area. It'll be moving on to the south through parts of Blaine County and Kingfisher County. Huge hail core just south of Dover. Has to be, softball size or larger. Then the one in southeastern Kingfisher County is just about into northeastern Canadian County. And if you look right in the middle of the screen there, you'll see that white area coming down, moving toward the southeast is north of Piedmont. And then you got these storms coming up in the southwest from Mustang to Moore. So once again, if you know somebody that's out playing some sports right now, you might want to page them and get their attention. You can see the storm coming from the northwest and the one coming from the southwest. They're going to merge somewhere in this vicinity, it looks like. Is that 5-inch?
Yes.
5-inch hailstone measured 5 miles south
Of Reading. It's in Kingfisher.
Yeah, let's go check out Tarracam, guys.
It's in Kingfisher County.
Storm coming in the southwest. Go ahead, Hank.
Just, we see this every time. I-240, where it joins I-44, traffic is stopped in both directions because the first few people have pulled over and totally blocked the highway, and traffic is backed up about a half mile either side of it because people have blocked the highway off under the underpass.
Okay, we're looking at Tarracam, Hank. We're looking to the southwest, and we see what appears to be a significant lowering with that particular storm. I don't know if it's a strong updraft or just what, but...
Hey, Gary, you're right. Gary?
Yes.
You're right. There is a significant lowering, and we're right close to it. It's just to our south. We're getting winds right now, feeding into that, about 60 miles an hour. We just had some dust pull up right underneath that rotation. The dust was lifted. I didn't see a funnel above it, but I actually did see the dust doing a little bit of rotating on the ground. And matter of fact, there is still some dust there. I think most of it is probably just from straight line winds. But, Gary, this rotation has definitely increased. Right over there. Man, there are some pretty strong winds out here, Gary. I'm
about
over 60 miles an hour winds.
Hey, Val, where are you at?
We are, I'm going to pull up the map right now. We are just about a half a mile north of Edmond Road, and we've got dust that's being lifted straight up now. I don't really see any rotation with it, but the dust is being lifted straight up into the bottom of this updraft base here. This thing is definitely strengthening, Gary. Something's going on here.
Yeah, it's pretty well wound up, but it's really been wound up several times today also. The other storm coming up in the south, getting a little bit closer. In fact, we can take a look at Taracam here. And on Taracam, we're looking southwest. That's the storm coming into southern parts of Oklahoma City. It's not huge, and in fact, it has weakened just a little bit, like Hank mentioned just mere moments ago. There's a kind of a lowering over there on the right that you can see. But all this stuff just keeps hammering to the southeast. It increases some, then it decreases some. And what we might do is you keep on that for just a moment. You can see that is a fairly narrow storm right in here. That's the rain and the hail. That's downtown Oklahoma City. That's to our south-southwest. You see a little bit of clearing skies, and that's good. But this thing, as it moves across parts of Oklahoma City from southwest to northeast, could produce some very large hail. And let's go to ESP2, and we'll see what we have on it now. This storm has weakened a little bit, that one we were just looking at. Val, go ahead, Val.
It's got rotation on the ground, Gary.
Okay.
There's dust rotating. I don't see a funnel above it, but there's all kinds of tree debris flying around us. Okay, you got that on record. Gary, I would call this a tornado, Gary. I would call it a tornado because it's rotating on the ground, and it's right beneath the rotating wall cloud.
Okay, Val, we can see in the center part of your picture, we saw quite a bit of rotating dirt. I don't see it. Is it to your right?
It's right straight down the road ahead of us.
Bobby,
most of the dirt has gone away.
Yeah, Gary, I can hear you.
Go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby.
Got very strong rotation to my north, and I saw the dust debris cloud that Val was talking about. So I really think we did have a tornado on the ground. Very strong rotation right now. If I'm on West Hefner Road, and I'm trying to get my Gregory Road. I'm on West Hefner Road and Gregory Road looking to the north, Gary.
Yeah,
it looks like the circulation may be starting to wind up and actually get rain wraps, Gary.
I think there's still rotation on the ground right ahead of us, about a half a mile down the road, Gary. We're seeing rotating dust. We're getting rotating dust a half a mile down the road. This is very near Northwest.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Very near Northwest Highway.
What do you think your winds are?
Right over there. Look at that, right over there to your right.
Here's Val's location.
We've got rotation on the ground here, Gary.
Val is just southwest of Piedmont. You can keep talking to me, Val, but we can see it. Just southwest of Piedmont. Go ahead.
Right, it is. It's probably right near or right on Northwest Highway.
Let's go ahead and go back to the...
And there's a couple of areas. There's 2 or 3 areas of rotation right there. Zoom up on that one. That's the concentrated area of rotation right there. And we're right underneath a rotating wall cloud. I don't really see, big time funnel coming down or anything like that, but there's 2 areas of rotation now that I can see on the ground. And it was strong enough at least to tear off branches off of trees earlier. And that's the debris cloud Bobby was talking about. We were actually in it, in the debris forming like that. But right now, Gary, this area is right on Northwest Highway, and there's another little spin up right there.
Yeah.
It's right beneath this rotating wall cloud. Now we've got rain that is rotated all the way around us. We're right in the middle of the wrapping rain.
We have a low-level TVS, tornado vortex signature right there where you saw that circulation.
I believe it exactly, because, it spun up fast, too. And, I'd say probably, it wasn't real strong, but it was strong enough to rip branches off of trees, and the air was like full of debris all around us.
Okay, Will Rogers getting 63 mile per hour winds. I just passed along some information, Val, on Will Rogers, gust to 63 miles per hour with the storms coming up in the southwest.
Let's keep going south.
Okay. This storm on X.
Go
ahead, Bobby.
I've got very strong rotating rain curtains, very strong circulation. Gary, I don't know if there's a tornado warning on this storm, but I would really suggest it, Gary. Very strong rotating rain curtains now to the north. And it looks like I'm seeing possibly looks like maybe even a little tornado now, Gary. Little funnel cloud. It's hard to see. It's really wrapped up in the rain, so the circulation is really tight, and the rotating rain curtains are really strong now. North of my location, I'm on West Hefner Road and Gregory Road, looking out to the northeast, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Go ahead.
We just came across some large tree branches that were down across the road about a half a mile south of Northwest Highway here. We've got other types of debris flowing from east to west now. Look at that. There is small debris being pulled from east to west into what looks like a circulation just to our west or southwest over here. I'm going to turn...
Go to tower cam. Go to tower cam.
It's still a rotation, and I'll guarantee you it's trying... Oh, man, Gary, we're getting 100-mile-an-hour winds, Gary. We just got about 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Okay, Val, now tell us your location. What direction?
100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're a half a mile south of Northwest Highway. Now they're... Good night.
What's your east-west road?
My east-west road is Washington Street. We're about a mile and a half south of Edmond Road.
Okay.
And I guarantee you that was 100 miles an hour right there. It was from the north.
Yeah, it's wrapping around. Val, just hang in there. I just want to mention for the folks that are watching it.
Don't go that way.
Okay.
Don't go that way.
This is approaching, this is in Canadian County. It's this circulation approaching 122nd Street northeast, 122nd northeast. It affects parts of Highway 3. It's moving southeast at 20. If you know where Highway 3 is, it comes across Canadian County into Oklahoma County. Yes, go ahead.
There was a large piece of a tree in the air, floating in the air. We just got hit with big hail. I think there's a tornado on the ground. There goes another a piece of a tree. Half of a tree just got thrown up into the air to my southeast. And this is going to be, I'm going to give you an exact location here. I'm going to say right near Cimarron Road and right near 150th. About 150th and Cimarron Road is where it is. There's not much of a visible. You can't really see much of a funnel. You can see rotation above it. But every now and again we get a half of a tree being pulled up in the air with this thing. I mean, this means business. This is big-time wind damage here, Gary.
Yeah, it's obviously pretty darn significant.
Yeah, it is, and not to mention we're getting
we're
probably kind of small-sized hail falling now, too.
Okay, let's go back to, you stay with us, Val. On video-wise, let's go to XL. It's still in there, still indicates a TVS, tornado vortex signature. It's a small one, but it's very strong, positive 100 miles per hour. We're hearing some hail in here now. So big hail spreading across Oklahoma City. So look, if you live in eastern Canadian County, or if you live in Oklahoma County, just expect huge hail. We're getting really large hail. Now on the helicopter, Sky News 9's out there. We see somewhat of a rotation and a lowering in there. I don't know whether you can hear the hail at home, but a lot of you are. So huge hail in here, and gosh, we're getting a hail. We're getting a
warning, Gary, for Canadian and Oklahoma County.
Okay, this will be a tornado warning for Oklahoma and Canadian County. Tornado warning now. Of course, you heard it first from Val. Val, I don't know if you can hear me. You other guys can hear me. We're getting large hail. At least, Kelly, what's the size?
About golf ball.
Golf ball size hail. We're at Wilshire and Kelly. In northeast part of the city, we're getting the hail from the south storm coming up, and it's coming over us. Yeah, go ahead. I can't hear you, but go ahead and shout. Here is it. Yeah, go ahead.
Frank is right in the middle of this south storm. I'm in the hail corn. I'm at downtown. I'm in the Dallas Junction, and we're getting right around golf ball size hail. And I can't see a whole bunch of them because the wind and rain is strong. A couple of them might sound bigger than that. So right here around I-40 Junction, folks, that's where the hail core is, all the way back up to the television station, which is up off of Wilshire and Kelly. So this thing is about 5 or 6 miles in length in the hail core. So this storm is strengthened. As we're moving on to I-235, you can probably hear the hail getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's at least golf balls, if not bigger, Gary.
Okay, appreciate that. This tornado, we look at XL, tornado warning on this storm here. It's right along West Britain Road. This is in Canadian County. But let me tell you, if you live Banner Road, if you live east of Banner Road, goodness gracious. If you live east of Banner Road in Canadian County, and that's going to include Gregory Road and Cimarron Road and Frisco Road and Cemetery Road, Piedmont Road, Mustang Sarah, and Morgan Road, all of those. But this circulation is quite wrapped up. It's from the Piedmont area. And we're getting the hail, if you can hear us here, and you guys in the village in Oklahoma City and Nichols Hills and here Channel 9, we're getting that primarily from the south storm that came up. The one with the tornado is just to our west, so a tornado warning stays in effect until
9 p.m.
Until 9 p.m.
Southeast at 25.
Going southeast at 25. Oh, brother. Tornado continues to be indicated. And this is good. Val, and you guys, if you can jump in here, I can barely hear you, but go ahead. Go ahead,
Gary,
Val.
If you can hear me right now, Gary, the circulation became completely rain-wrapped since the last time we talked, and I cannot see if there's a tornado on the ground right now. It's completely obscured by rain from me.
All righty, Val. Okay. If you live east of Banner Road, continue the tornado precautions east of Banner Road in Canadian County. And by the way, this area of hail moving through southern Oklahoma City, the village and such, is only 4 miles wide, which is good. But once again, east of Banner Road, all the way into Oklahoma County. In Oklahoma County, let me stop this and I'll move it over here. The tornado warning: if you live south of 222nd, you should continue with your tornado precautions. South of 222nd, that is Covell, that's Coffee Creek. If you live south of Coffee Creek in Oklahoma County, northwestern Oklahoma County, take your tornado precautions. If you live along Covell Road, if you live along Danforth Road, this goes north central and western Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County.
All Brenda stations.
Okay, 178th Street. Second, if you take 2nd Street out of Edmond, go west. If you live along 178th, south of 178th. If you live south of 15th Street, that's in Edmond. Or if you live along 164th. Go ahead, Val.
I can see the funnel now. It's to my northwest. It's going to be very near.
Is it on the ground?
No, it's not. It does not look like it's on the ground. It's about halfway to the ground. And it is near Cimarron Road, Gary, and about Memorial. I would say probably a little west of Cimarron Road and a little south of Memorial, right in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And it was a long funnel that was angled back to the southwest, to the west, and it's lifted a little bit now. I don't think it's on the ground. At least from my vantage point, I can't see it on the ground, but it was halfway to the ground.
Give us your location again, Val. Val, give us your location again.
Okay, right now, Gary, I'm right at northwest 122nd and Gregory Road, and I'm looking to my northeast, and it's about 3/4 of a mile northeast of me.
Okay, I've got you on your GPS there. It's just northeast of you, so it's right along 122nd. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say it's going to be a little south of Memorial and probably a little west of Cimarron Road. That's where it is, and it's pretty wrapped up in the rain. I mean, there's a lot of rain around it. I think it's in the dissipating stage right now.
The funnel, not the thunderstorm.
Right, no, not the thunderstorm,
Okay.
The funnel itself, yeah. But
the hail is spreading on up. By the way, tornado warning now will continue eastern Canadian County into Oklahoma County. If you live anywhere in Oklahoma County, right now we'll say to the west of Broadway, from Broadway and Kelly onto the west, all the way into Canadian County. Continue the tornado precautions. This storm, Val's right, it is wrapping. It's occluded, but did produce damage. He was right there when it happened. So from Piedmont all the way down Hefner Road, Britton Road. Let's just take county line or council, and you guys from 164th on south, 150th south is northwest, 136th and points south, 122nd and points south, Hefner Road, then Britton Road in Wilshire, and down to 63rd, and down northwest 50th, and all the way down to Reno, then into parts of Oklahoma County, southwest.
There's 85-mile-per-hour winds indicated over the village right now with that.
So we're getting some indication, 85-mile-per-hour winds. No reports of those on the ground, but they could be. That's the hailstorm. If you're getting the hailstorm in the village, and what's your location?
Gary, I'm at 235 and 50th Street, and we're getting pounded with bigger than golf balls. It's knocking limbs down. It's knocking leaves off the trees. I-235 is a mess. People have the highway blocked off because they're parking all up and down the underpasses.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting big now, Gary. It's bigger than golf balls. It's probably getting close to tennis balls. I'm at I-44 and I-235.
Okay, so you're not very far from us. So let me just Hank, let me just pass on this other information. This hail is expanding northwestward also, right up to 178th Street, 178th and Meridian, and Portland and May. It's shoved a little bit further north or developed north. It's going to be coming southeast again. Portland, 192nd. Huge hail in there. So we had this one hailstorm moving across and expanding. The one from the southwest came into Oklahoma County, the village, and where we're located here, Wilshire and Kelly. And that hail core is expanding northward rapidly. Wow. It is right along Danforth Road. That's the east-west road. Covell Road, and then the one coming down from the northwest. Still have a tornado warning on it for what? How many more minutes is that?
Till 9 p.m.
Okay, until 9. Go ahead.
We have a view report of a confirmed tornado at 150th and Richland with major damage. I don't know what the damage is, but that's just from a viewer.
150th and Richland?
That's coming from our assignment desk.
Okay, that was right there. That's right, what passed right over it.
Right.
So that was Richland. That's around Northwest Highways. Reports of significant damage. This was along Highway 3 and right on 150th in Canadian County. The rotation is still with this storm. So we continue with a tornado warning for eastern Canadian County. And right now, that would be northeast of El Reno. Okay, El Reno's not included on it, but I got to tell you, there's another big storm blowing up in the El Reno area. You guys see that? That's this storm come up here. So it's... What do you say?
Reno storm right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, that's my shot you've got of the El Reno storm right now. It's coming up hard and fast, and it's got rotation with it too. I'm on Northwest Highway about 4 south of Okarche, looking at that location, and it's starting to turn too, Gary.
Okay. Appreciate that. There's another storm that's blown up for you guys, running all the way from Geary to El Reno. That's west of Oklahoma City, moving east-southeast. That's going to be a hail producer, too, all along Interstate 40. So if you have people coming in from the west into Oklahoma City on Interstate 40, you want them to pull off, find some shelter.
Just had a report 4 miles east-southeast of Richland, a large tornado on the ground, and then just lifted.
What time was that?
That was just 1 minute ago.
That's the one Val was basically in. So we're going to look. We have another circulation that's indicated now. It is right along Northwest 178th. This is just west of Oklahoma County in Northwest 178th. That should be the same as Edmond Road, by the way. That extends into Canadian County. Still got a circulation there. And then the leading edge of this storm itself on the tornado warning is as far south as Britton Road now. So continue tornado precaution. By the way, if you're new to Oklahoma, you know, a basement, a cellar, a safe room is much better. Safe room is the best of all. And if you don't have that, you get to the center part of your house, lowest level, smallest room, center part, closet or bathroom, and cover up. These are big-time hail producers, and at least this one has produced a significant tornado. Microwave 1, we'll take a look at that.
Farthest southwest storm that's developing near Union City. That's
so
a new storm.
There's a new storm going up near Union City from Sky News 9. Yeah. Whoa. So this one's going up near Union City. It'll be moving on down to the southeast. And then let's do a quick look at the ESP1 real quickly. ESP1. Still lots of storms. Kingfisher County. New ones blowing up in, as I mentioned, in Canadian County. So it's primarily right now. The worst stuff is Kingfisher, Canadian, and Oklahoma. The one came up. And you can almost see this one start to wrap in. I believe they're merging. The one came up in the southwest, wrapping right at that. I think what we're getting is just a big circulation, big mesoscale.
Power lines down 3 miles southwest of Piedmont.
Power lines down 3 miles southwest of Piedmont. So if you live in Oklahoma City, if you live along 192nd, 178th, 164th, 150th, 136th, 122nd, all of those continue with your tornado precautions. This storm, the hook echo is not evident at this particular moment. As you take a look at XL, it's not evident, but there's a big rotation with the storm. So continue with that tornado warning. Eastern sections of Canadian County on into Oklahoma County. Go ahead. Thought I could hear Alan in there.
I'm sorry, Gary. I'm just trying to navigate. We're trying to get to 150th and Richland to check on that tornado damage.
Okay, go ahead. We're good. Okay, big time hail along 234th Street. And this is in Canadian County. So let me tell you, if you live, and I'm going to give you some areas, all right? If you live south of 206th, all right, this is in Canadian County and Oklahoma County. If you live south of 206th, continue with your tornado precautions. And if you live north of Reno, continue with your tornado precautions. The back edge of this, or the southern edge of this warning area would be from northeast of El Reno by 5 miles down to about Yukon. So Yukon, you guys are included. So Yukon's included, the northwest 10th, 23rd, 36th, and 50th. I'm going right up Council Road. 63rd, Wilshire, Britton, Hefner, 122nd, 136th. So continue the tornado precautions south, just to the south, on down toward 178th, 164th. So now as it stands in Canadian County, so it would still be, let me move it over just a little bit. If you live east of Gregory Road, this is in Canadian County, east of Gregory Road, continue the tornado precautions. And let's go on over into Oklahoma County. Lots of big, bad hail showing up at many, many locations along northwest 164th and on into parts of Edmond now, West Edmond. Then it continues on down to the south. And there's just giant hail in many locations along northeast 122nd, the center part of the county. There's a huge, huge hail area. And let's go to ESP1.